Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video, this time for the Russian Tier 3 premium cruiser, the Oleg. As always, these videos are designed to give you a sample of the gameplay of the ship, not to be an exhaustive analysis. I recommend the Wargaming Wiki or other content creators. So, the one that I know you guys have all been waiting for, forget Smallland or Hawaii. I'm sure you're all waiting on tenterhooks for the premium cruiser Oleg. Some of you are probably saying, what? What is an Oleg? Some of you may even be opening the game to see if you own an Oleg. You might be surprised to find that you do. So we'll talk a little bit about the Oleg for a minute, and then we'll get to the elephant in the room. But I do feel obligated to at least briefly discuss this ship. It's fine. It's a Tier 3 cruiser. It has absolutely no armor. You can get citadels from anywhere. It has a lot of guns. It has a really strong broadside with eight HE guns, 25 millimeters a pen, 1700 alpha. Of course, you can only get those 8 guns if you choose your angle correctly because it has fixed gun turrets. But yeah, it does a pretty good amount of damage, but it can't take any damage. It's super slow, but then of course everything is at Tier 3. Detection is mediocre. Yeah, it's a Tier 3 cruiser. Okay, did we talk about the Oleg enough? Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is why does the Oleg even exist? Or put another way, why are there so many frickin' premiums in World of Warships? Now, there's an obvious answer, which is also the correct answer, which is money. I looked it up, and the Oleg cost on release about 2,250 doubloons, which in America would be about $9.50, roughly. I actually don't know why I own the Oleg. I'm almost positive that it came out of one of those recruiting containers that you get from time to time. There's absolutely no way that I actually paid doubloons for this thing. When you've been playing as long as I have, sometimes you just sort of collect stuff like this. So, what is this doing in the game? Well, one reason, which, to be fair to Wargaming, probably the most charitable reason, is this is a real historical ship. And so if you believe that part of the goal of World of Warships is to let you play basically every historical warship, then you're going to want to have a ship like the Oleg in the game. Somebody might think this is their favorite ship from history. I guess eventually they'll get around to putting all the destroyers, cruisers, battleships, aircraft carriers, and subs that really existed in the game. I'm not a big history buff, so I don't really know too much about that. But, there is that. The money thing, right? Why not put it in the game? I guess variety. I guess it makes the game more interesting. There's no game design reason for this, right? And this is a common problem with free-to-play games. Game design often has to take a backseat to money, to economics, to capitalism. Am I saying it's bad that the Oleg is in the game? No, I guess not. If you don't want it, just don't buy it. I suppose the only downside for certain players is it means that you have to memorize more ships. You have to know its armor values and gun values. But, at Tier 3, who cares, right? So, in many ways, sticking historical ships like this in the lower tiers, maybe that makes a lot of sense. Because, if it is mediocre... another thing about historical ships is they often... Wargaming feels, or at least used to feel, a certain amount of constraint based on the actual parameters of the real ship. Not so much with submarines, of course. Those all live in fantasy land. Aircraft carriers too. But with the surface ships, there's some attention paid. This ship goes 24 knots at top speed, and I think that's probably derived from close to the actual historical speed. They're not going to make this thing go 50 knots. As a result, most of these ships are kind of underpowered. because real life ships were sort of underpowered. I mean, very rarely. Again, I'm not a history buff, but my understanding is very rarely did a navy really need a ship to like launch 3 shells every 1.3 seconds the way the Forest Sherman does. I mean, why would you need that like in real life? So yeah, most of the truly historical ships are found at the lower tiers, which is fine. I mean, I'm struggling to think of a reason why this is a bad idea. I mean, if they didn't put the Oleg in the game, after all, somebody would probably complain. They'd be like, "Where's the Oleg?" So it's kind of a no-win situation. However, it does create this interesting situation where there's like 700 ships in the game. Now, I don't know how many of those are at tiers that anybody plays and cares about competitively, but that's a lot of ships. And it also creates this awkward situation, which is the bane of every free-to-play game's existence, where you're on this treadmill. I mean, Wargaming basically has to keep finding reasons for you to buy ships. So they made all the historical ships. They're probably basically out. So they either start like making stuff up, or they dig really deep into the historical record, or both. And even in the making stuff up department, there comes a point at which like, what more are you going to make up? Like, they've been through all of the theoretical designs, the paper designs. I mean, I know people complain that they put subs and aircraft carriers in the game, and to some extent I agree, but also like, they need more ships. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all to find other things entering the game. I mean, they need to keep making stuff that people will buy. So yeah, that's the Oleg. I mean, this was a good game. There actually were 3 players in this game. It was a pretty fun game. I'm sorry I didn't commentate on the actual game all that much. This Kolberg played pretty well. I did a reasonable amount of damage. It's interesting, in terms of padding your stats. Obviously, the fewer players, the better, because then you do more of the overall total damage, and also, you're not avoiding actual players' incoming fire as much. But in terms of fun, I mean, it's way more fun to play against players. For some reason, there were 3 players in a div. I don't know what they're doing in tier 3, but good for them. Maybe they're introducing somebody new to the game. So yeah, that's the Oleg. It's a fine ship. I mean, do I think you should go pick it up? No, not really. Why would you? I hear it's almost exactly the same as the Tech Tree tier 3 Russian cruiser, the Bogatyr. I haven't played the Bogatyr yet. I guess we'll find out when we get there. But yeah, armor's super bad. The guns are pretty good. It's fine. It's it's a tier 3 Russian cruiser. So that's it for this one. I will see you guys in the next video.